A very good evening to you. I'm Pearson Bowen. A warning from an environmentalist tonight that the level of illegal dumping, particularly in gullies across Barbados, could eventually lead to contamination of the island's water supply. Shane Seeley has the story.
Fresh concern about the level of illegal dumping now being seen in several gullies across Barbados. Shedding a spotlight on the issue today is an environmentalist, the director of the Future Center Trust, David Spieler. And he's telling CBC News that the dumping has now reached such a level that it could have a negative impact on our local water supply.
I think we're fairly critical. We've been spending generations discarding waste into our gullies and using them as dustbins, but the quality of the waste in recent years has become so sophisticated that and the water that flows through them into our water supplies, we need to look at that. And one of the aspects of our mural is the water that flows through our gullies and then into our reservoirs. For example, this one here with the big old baobab tree goes to the Bell Reservoir, and many of us drink this water.
That's why CIBC First Caribbean International Bank has partnered with the Future Center Trust in moving to create a massive mural stretching along this wall from the entrance to the bank's Warrens headquarters to the exit of the Baobab Towers complex. Mr. Spieler explains why he thinks a mural focusing on the environment would help to address illegal dumping and other related issues.
There isn't much enforcement, so what we're trying to do is to educate the entire Barbados through this mural that what we dump in gullies and is toxic, that does leach out in the water when it rains and goes to our reservoirs, is going to affect us and our children. So when we throw it away into the gullies, it is not actually away, because that water will go down through the gullies and we will end up opening up our taps and drinking back the things that we discard into the gullies.
Now, by year end, Barbadian motorists and pedestrians who travel in the area will get the first glimpse at the mural, which is expected to be an environmental masterpiece. Shane Seeley, CBC News.
Well, we'd like to get your take tonight on this question of dumping, so please text us to the question: do you believe that there needs to be stricter enforcement of the dumping laws? Text yes or no to short code 8111. We will share the results of your take at the end of our news tonight. About $200 million is still owed to the University of the West Indies by the Barbados government. That's according to Principal and Pro-Vice Chancellor of the UWI Cayville campus, Sir Hilary Beckles. Sir Hilary believes if the government had the resources, they would make them available.
We recognize the state of the economy is not the best. And we've explored all possible ways and means in which governments over the Caribbean over the last 20-30 years have tried to handle this situation. And we were cognizant of the fact that in the past other governments found themselves in a similar situation.
Well, there's a new antibiotic on the market that could significantly reduce the number of amputations done in Barbados. This from one of the developers of the medication, Dr. Christopher Otiko, a doctor of podiatric medicine. Dr. Otiko says Testrastem has been approved by the Food and Drug Administration and has been used in the US since 2010. He says it was developed and tested in Russia and has been used on wounds in which all other treatments had failed.
The medication is a simple topical solution. The active ingredient is liquid tetracycline, but what made it really special was we added about 5 or 6 FDA approved non-active ingredients that when combined allow the topical medication to penetrate an inch deep in the skin within 10 minutes, and no other solution on earth can do that. So it now enables the tetracycline to penetrate the skin so fast. In addition to that, it stimulates stem cell activity to allow the body to naturally heal itself.
Dr. Otiko, a guest of the Non-State Actors Reparations Committee, will be speaking to the Diabetes Association about the benefits of the medication. Chairman Hal Martin says the committee is focused on, among other things, healing the body. He has also experienced the benefits of tetrastem.
I got burned on my ankle, leaving a small wound, and it just turned into something real horrific. In fact, in another week I would have lost my ankle, and the doctor has a few pictures of the stuff. But I met Dr. Otico, Dr. Chris, in LA, and he was able to pull the wound from almost an amputation in less than 2 months to complete healing.
Mr. Martin says their next step is to get Dr. Otico licensed to practice in Barbados, after which a stronger push will be made to get that drug used widely. Coming up after this break, the Health Minister says it's no easy task to change people's attitudes towards the disabled.
Dear Clark, I've made a fascinating discovery. The institutional water cooler. Its gravitational pull sucks people from their workstations at the busiest times of day to stand around it and chat about emerging global trends like, will pink be in fashion next season? Meanwhile, the world slows to a stop as it waits in line to be served. I don't see that trend at Globe Finance.
Globe Finance. Think outside the bank.
When it comes to their financial service, slow is out, swift is in.
Health Minister John Boyce says changing the attitudes which the general public has towards the disabled community continues to be one of his ministry's biggest challenges. This as he notes that many people often do not want to give the differently abled opportunities to prove themselves. His comments came during his address at the graduation ceremony for the students of the Albert Cecil Graham Development Centre, which was held at the St. Patrick's Roman Catholic Cathedral yesterday. He stressed that the government will continue to provide the relevant support for the disabled, who currently account for 4% of Barbados' population.
We must recognize that persons with challenges can make progress only when some sets of attitudes are changed, their own towards themselves and the attitude of the community towards them. Improved services for the disabled depend upon a general awareness among the public that persons with disabilities can function independently within our society.
Well, during her address, entrepreneur Shanique Clark urged the 14 graduates to pursue their dreams as they could achieve their goals regardless of their challenges.
Where there's a will, there is a way. We all face challenges, even from the day when we were born. What do I mean? You may be wondering. We come into the world not having to know it all, as it pertains to understanding ourselves, our reactions to others, and our physical world around us. The values and morals that the world we accept are programmed into us by what we see, hear, do, feel.
As the Ministry of Education continues its rollout of the Skills for the Future program, a top IDB official has appealed to the local private sector to give young people a chance to get their feet wet in the world of work. Dr. Sabine Reble-Oberg is an education specialist from the Inter-American Development Bank, who is here in Barbados reviewing the program funded by the IDB to the tune of $20 million.
Be open to the participants and to the program and to provide opportunities for the young persons to have an internship or an initial work experience, that they really can get their feet wet in that sense, to get a better understanding of what is required in work, that they are better prepared.
Well, regional news next, but first a reminder to you that we really want to hear from you on the question, do you believe there needs to be stricter enforcement of the dumping law?